7 weather with meteorologist Vivian Gonzalez.
Good morning, South Florida. We're waking up to mostly clear skies. There's the possibility of seeing a few areas of fog out west, but that's pretty much it. On the radar, your commute is looking excellent across Broward and Miami-Dade, heading into the upper Florida Keys, especially Key Largo. That's where there's one tiny little shower. 77 degrees. Good morning to you over in Fort Lauderdale. 77 in Miami with calm winds along the east coast that will be building out of the east northeast today between 5 to 15 miles per hour. We will have another front approaching from the north, and this front will allow conditions to feel very pleasant tonight into tomorrow. So today, lots of sunshine, maybe a stray shower at best, but the chance for rain at a minimum. Tomorrow, we're going to have pleasant conditions with a building breeze out of the north and east, and that will set the stage for marine hazards to be in play around our local waters heading into Friday and the upcoming weekend. It will be gusty at times. Now, as far as the tropics are concerned, we're keeping a close eye on Tropical Storm Melissa in the Caribbean. The center of the storm has reformed to the northeast, but it's still being impacted by some shear up ahead. It is still looking rather nice on satellite imagery with gradual strengthening expected in the days ahead. And this one will likely become a hurricane possibly tomorrow. 50-mile-per-hour winds. It's moving west-northwest, but right now nothing is steering it, and that is why this system is going to spend quite a bit of time in the Caribbean, impacting Hispaniola, Jamaica, with plenty of heavy rain and the potential for significant flooding. It does seem like a northward pull from a front that will likely be protecting us, and high pressure in the Atlantic will be happening in the days ahead, but that will be several days out. Now, as far as advisories are concerned, southern portion of Haiti, that's where there's a hurricane watch. Jamaica under a tropical storm watch. Significant rain expected, and we're looking at about 3 to 4 feet of rain. Your boating forecast calls for a moderate rip current risk at area beaches. There are no advisories for boaters right now, but there's some the possibility of seeing some nuisance saltwater flooding during times of high tide. High tide will be happening in Key West at 11:30 and at 9:50 in Miami. Look for highs today in the mid to upper 80s. Bright sunshine. It should be mostly dry, clear tonight with the beach breeze. And on your extended outlook, South Florida, a gusty breeze setting up shop through the upcoming weekend with seasonable temperatures. And that's your 7 on 7.
7 weather with meteorologist Vivian Gonzalez.
Good morning, South Florida. We have another front on the move, and this front is going to help humidity levels drop more heading into tomorrow. It's going to feel quite pleasant. Outside of an isolated shower, it is going to be mostly dry. Tomorrow, though, with high pressure building in on the back end, Melissa to the south in the Caribbean, stronger winds will get funneled along the coastline, and it will be breezy to gusty by the end of the week, and that will create choppy to rough seas into the upcoming weekend. And here's the latest on Melissa. Steering winds are non-existent, and that's why it's going to stay put here in the Caribbean, and it will loop around here until it decides to pull northward because of a front and high pressure in the Atlantic. But in the meantime, through the weekend, gradual strengthening is expected into a hurricane, maybe potentially a Cat 2 system as it moves more towards the west. But Jamaica, Hispaniola, Cuba should be monitoring it closely. Some watches and warnings are in effect. Significant flooding likely for these areas. Moderate rip current risk at area beaches. We have an east wind today, 5 to 15 knots. Seas building 2 to 3 feet for the Florida Keys. There are no advisories. Seas beyond the reef building 3 to 5 feet. And the next tide cycle will be high tide 9:50 this morning in Miami at 11:30 for Key West. So highs today between 85, 87 degrees. We'll have bright sunshine. It should stay mostly dry. Tonight, a mild one in the mid 70s across mainland South Florida. with mostly clear skies. And as we look ahead into the upcoming weekend, we'll have that breeze continuing. Maybe a quick shower at best early next week will increase the potential of seeing some additional showers. 30% chance, and that's typical for this time of year. And that's your 7 on 7.
7 weather with meteorologist Erika Delgado.
All right, South Florida temperatures are now on the rise. We started off in the 70s, not as warm as we were yesterday, but we're now back into the 80s, 81 in Fort Lauderdale, 83 in Miami, mid-80s continuing across the Florida Keys. And we have a lot of sunshine that we've been seeing and enjoying this morning. Just a few clouds, especially in Broward County, where we have seen the occasional shower push through the area, but a lot of sunshine across the Florida Keys, where we have been dry since earlier this morning. We had some overnight showers pushed to the island chain. We had some spotty showers pushed through Broward County. That drifted towards the southwest near the Golden Glades, and that's where it laid to rest. Fizzling conditions because of the dry air that we still have in place. So again, any showers that we do see today really won't provide any significant rainfall, but there is a front that is sprawled across the state, and that's the front that we've been talking about that's going to bring drier air across the region. And it won't bring a cool down, but at least it will continue to reinforce those drying conditions that we've been enjoying on and off since last week. Ahead of it, though, we are still warm. We'll leave the chance of maybe a shower or two here and there, but overall, that dry air begins to move in, and you'll feel the difference heading into the day on Thursday. An overall nice day. It'll be not as humid, we'll go with that, and the breeze does begin to build, especially into the afternoon. Friday still looking pretty good, but the breeze significantly increases in speed. We're talking gusty conditions here across South Florida, as will be between this front here and high pressure to the north, all while we continue to monitor Melissa's whereabouts in the Caribbean, still remaining there as it's barely going to move through the next few days, providing very heavy rainfall across many of the islands. We're waiting on that 11 o'clock advisory. We'll have it to you in just a moment. In the meantime, boating forecast for Miami-Dade and Broward. We have a moderate risk of rip currents across area beaches, seas 2 to 3 feet. Biscayne Bay a light chop. Heading into the Florida Keys, coastal waters a light to moderate chop, and with increasing wind speeds, seas beyond the reef could occasionally reach as high as 4 feet. Now, we do still have the possibility of saltwater flooding across our low-lying coastal areas of the Keys, especially during high tide, and high tide will be coming up in the next hour in Key West. That's at 11:30 this morning. Otherwise, low tide takes over this afternoon in the 3 o'clock hour at both Fort Lauderdale and in Miami. Highs today will be in the mid to upper 80s. Our mainland areas will be a lot like what we saw yesterday. We'll leave a slight chance of maybe a passing shower. It'll feel warm, but if you are in the shade this afternoon, it may feel actually very comfortable. You may have noticed that yesterday afternoon. Rain chances will remain low throughout tonight. Temperatures will be in the 70s, and then again, the nice day on Thursday with gusty conditions returning Friday, and again with strong winds coming off the water Friday into the weekend. A few showers will be possible. Saturday looking very windy across South Florida. Heading into early next week, we'll see better chance for some showers. And that's your 7 on 7.